Cheryl, Cook County prosecutors say the veteran Chicago police officer tased a man who was complying with his orders. That man is now suing the city of Chicago, and his attorney has provided us with the officer's body camera video that shows the entire incident. Officer Marco Simonetti's own body camera picks up responding to a call of a suspicious person on Chicago's northwest side. Immediately, Simonetti encounters Joshua Habasek.
You live there?
Yeah.
You got ID or a key?
Nah, I ain't got a key on it.
It's contentious from the start.
For lying to me. You said you live here.
The encounter escalates.
Get your hands on your
You
pocket.
can't go into my house. Hey, man, don't be grabbing up on me. Don't be grabbing up on me. I ain't do nothing wrong.
And with that,
Why are you arresting me?
I'm not arresting you.
Habasek takes off running.
Get down on the ground! Get down on the ground right now!
I ain't do nothing. I ain't still nothing. Look,
Give me one more car over here. Get on the ground! I'm gonna tase you. Last warning.
I ain't do nothing. I do it. Can you put it down? Put it down for me?
One last warning.
Please don't tase me.
We've frozen the video before Joshua Habasek hits the ground face first. The video goes on to show him convulsing and losing consciousness. This was August of 2021, and this is Officer Marco Simonetti today, more than a year later, in his mugshot, criminally charged with official misconduct and aggravated battery.
It was revolting. It was incredibly difficult to watch. Josh was doing everything he was being told to do.
Documents read in a Cook County courtroom today say Simonetti radioed in the incident stating, "I had to tase him," but later wrote in a tactical response report that he unintentionally deployed the taser. Internal Affairs for Chicago Police has been quietly investigating the taser confrontation since last year.
They knew that this video existed. Multiple levels of supervisors undoubtedly saw it. And yet, nothing is done.
We're in process of relief of powers because he was arrested.
Simonetti posted the $5,000 bond to be released from jail this afternoon, so tonight he is no longer in custody. We did reach out to the union that represents Chicago police officers, but they did not.
This is ridiculous. CHP is arresting engineer Gregoire for where he spotted the fire engine.
A CHP officer handcuffs a Chula Vista firefighter on the scene of a crash. And tonight we're hearing the reaction over the radio as the incident escalated. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Barbara Lee Edwards.
And I'm Carlo Cicchetto. One of our cameras was rolling as all this happened, and today both agencies met to talk it over.
CBS News 8's Abby Alford is live in our newsroom with the fallout. Abby?
Barbara Lee and Carlo, CHP will not give us information about who this officer is or if he's been reprimanded for cuffing a firefighter during a rollover accident in Chula Vista last night on the 805 near Telegraph Canyon Road and East Orange Avenue. But we are told before this dispute, CHP has threatened to arrest other area firefighters for not moving their trucks out of the lane blocking traffic. But our cameras caught the first area firefighter slapped with cuffs. Thousands of comments on the CBS News 8 Facebook page and website outraged about a handcuffed firefighter in Chula Vista.
Hey, I just wanted to, he's arrested me.
Chula Vista firefighter Jacob Gregoire calls for his supervisor. Only CBS News 8 has this heated exchange between the veteran firefighter and an unnamed CHP officer about the safety of where the fire truck is parked during a rollover accident.
It's unbelievable you have to do this. It's unbelievable you guys have to treat us like this. We're on the road trying to help you guys. We asked you to clear the road and you said no and you'll get arrested for doing it.
CHP has guidelines to safely clear the road, but you see, it's up for debate who was in the wrong legally. Firefighters say they park at an angle to protect emergency crews, patients, and drivers.
We're in the middle of patient care with patients on the freeway. They're putting him in handcuffs at this time and walking him away.
We spoke to the union president for Chula Vista Fire, who says Gregoire did the right thing to protect the public.
I'm very proud of Jake. He made all firefighters look good in that situation because he was there to protect the citizens and he was willing to take a stand to do that.
This isn't the first time a firefighter's been detained. We found it happened in Santa Barbara involving a CHP and a firefighter. In Missouri, a firefighter was arrested by police and he was awarded $17 grand in a civil suit. Back here in Chula Vista, we're told that this isn't the first time that this type of dispute has happened, just never handcuffed. Until this moment.
I truly believe in my heart that this is going to get solved.
Now, Gregoire was released about a half hour after being detained in the handcuffs. Brass from CHP and the fire department met this morning. They released this joint statement. In summary, it assures this is an isolated incident and both agencies strive for public safety, and this should not happen again. We have reached out to firefighter Gregoire, but he did not answer. Barbara Lee.
All right, Abby, thank you. The driver of the Honda Civic was taken to the hospital. CHP has not released any information about who was involved, their conditions, or what caused the crash.
A former San Diego sheriff's deputy is heading to prison for more than a decade after being sentenced this afternoon for sexually abusing underage girls. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto, in for Barbara Lee Edwards. Tonight, we are learning new details about the extent of his crimes and the victims who say they had nowhere to turn to. News 8's Elizabeth Sanchez has been following the case for us and joins us live from the courthouse in Chula Vista. A disturbing case. Elizabeth.
You know, former Sheriff Deputy Jalen Fleer appeared with no expression as the judge read his sentence. The details of this case are disturbing, especially if you're a parent of a young teenage girl. The prosecutors say he contacted 41 young girls as young as 9 years old.
And I have never seen a more despicable set of facts as I've seen in this case.
Jalen Fleer stared straight ahead as the judge handed down a total of 12 years in state prison. Fleer pleaded guilty last month to 20 counts of felony and misdemeanor charges involving sex acts with underage girls. The prosecutor read letters from the victims and victims' families.
He tells multiple 12-year-old girls, do you have any younger friends who are interested in older men? I'll give you money to hook me up with them. The younger they are, the better.
The 27-year-old's attorney asked for leniency.
Mr. Fleer and his wife were expecting the birth of their first child. The child was going to come any day. And Mr. Fleer, without hesitation, said, I'm ready to surrender.
In court, this was the first time we heard graphic details of the case.
The detail he goes into with regard to his sex exploits that he is trying to engage in with young children are just despicable.
The criminal complaint filed named 4 victims identified as Jane Does 1 through 4. It listed the graphic crimes occurring from March 27th and April 8th, 2020. Prosecutor Jalen Wang says Fleer contacted his victims through Snapchat.
He had asked her about soliciting younger friends, and she mentioned a 9-year-old friend. You know, the defendant got excited about that prospect and tried to convince her to talk her 9-year-old friend into having a threesome with him.
Wang says Fleer sent photos of himself in uniform to the victims and gave their addresses to him. She says they were scared. They couldn't report it to police because he was the police. Fleer did pay Jane Doe 1 $100 for a sex act. Along with his 12-year sentence without probation, he will have to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life.